Bonjour, aloha, and or ni hao, viewers. We've got a phenomenal show ahead with Tina Merrick with the Music Minute, Rob White with Hollywood headlines, and so much more.
So whip out your hollow appeals to international audiences, because from Ball State University, The Real Deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm Aiden Hall.
And I'm Angelo Oriema. As many of you know, this has been a great week for fans of Kanye West, and Kanye West.
Yes, while the rapper, designer, and apparent GoPro enthusiast had an obviously huge week, there are still many happenings in the music industry.
Here to cover some of those stories in this week's Music Minute is Tina Merrick. Tina?
First up, 4 members of an up-and-coming British indie rock band and their manager have died in a road accident in Sweden on Saturday. The victims were the 4 members of Viola Beach, a band from the northern English town of Warrington, and their manager, Craig Terry, according to a statement released on behalf of Terry's family. The Guardian reports the men aged between 19 and 35, died when their car hit a road barrier and plunged more than 80 feet off a bridge into a canal near Stockholm. They are understood to have been on their way to an airport from their first gig abroad to return to the UK, where they were due to play on Saturday. Next is some much anticipated news. Kanye West has released his new album, The Life of Pablo. It dropped late Saturday night following his Saturday Night Live performance of the songs Ultralight Beams and Highlights with other artists. It marks West's 7th studio album following 2013's Yeezus. Billboard reports he began working on the album, first known as So Help Me God, in late 2013. It was to be released the following year, but that early version of the album never was. A number of songs ended up being given to other artists or released as one-off tracks. TLOP is available on Tidal and KanyeWest.com. Lastly, Bob Dylan is recording the follow-up to his critically acclaimed 2015 album, Shadows in the Night. 20-time Grammy winner and engineer Al Schmidt said that Dylan is once again covering classics like he did on the previous album, Schmidt Engineered. Billboard reports it's unclear, though, if the selections are all Frank Sinatra had previously recorded like they were on Shadows. Schmidt said, "He sounds great. His mood in the studio is fabulous. We're having a good time. We're like 2 old shoes together now, so we're comfortable with one another." Shadows in the Night included the classics Some Enchanted Evening and Autumn Leaves, and debuted at number 7 on the Billboard 200. On that album, Dylan and his 5-piece band recorded the songs live. That's all for your Music Minute. I'm Tina Merrick.
Thank you, Tina. Now, Angelo, how long do you think Kanye fans are going to listen to his new album?
Well, I know the answer to this joke, so I'm not even going to respond.
Come on, humor me.
No, never have, never will.
The answer is all day, Angelo. All day, like the song called All Day.
That's outstanding, Aiden.
Sorry, Angelo, but you know me. I feel like Pablo when I work on these puns.
I'm sure you do. Anyways, that's not the only thing Kanye's been up to this week, with his album and clothing line having a massive rollout.
Here with this week's Hollywood headlines, covering that and more, is Rob White. Rob?
Yeezy season is finally upon us, folks. On Thursday, February 11th, Kanye West finally unleashed his new album, The Life of Pablo, track by track, as dozens of models wearing his new Yeezy Season 3 clothing line stood in the middle of Madison Square Garden while the album was being debuted. The rapper stood behind his laptop and played the album in full while being accompanied not only by family, friends, and collaborators, but also by a sold-out arena that consists of over 18,000 seats. And to top it all off, streaming website Tidal streamed the whole presentation on their website and grossed over 20 million viewers. Celebrities and musicians that attended the event included the Kardashian-Jenner family, rappers Kid Cudi, A$AP Rocky, and Travis Scott, and singers Kirk Franklin and Frank Ocean. An event like this can only be done by someone of Kanye's stature, and for fans such as myself, it only makes us more anxious to listen through the life of Pablo's actual release. Next up, all you Marvel fans now have a reason to start celebrating because the new Deadpool movie is finally here. Fans have been waiting for this moment ever since Ryan Reynolds played an alternate version of the anti-hero in the movie X-Men Origins Wolverine back in 2009. But last weekend, the Merc with a Mouth officially debuted his very own movie. I myself have yet to see it, but the majority of fans say it was an amazing film altogether, filled with spectacular comedy, incredible action, and definitely some tasteful fourth wall breaks. If you're a fan of superhero movies and humor as well, this movie should definitely be on your radar. Lastly, rumors of a Bad Boys 3 have been circulating for many years, keeping fans like myself on our toes just hoping for any kind of official confirmation. But after all the speculation, Will Smith himself has confirmed that he and his co-star Martin Lawrence will be returning for the franchise's third installment. On a recent interview with BBC Radio 1, the Fresh Prince offered the long-awaited update on the sequel we've all been waiting for. He said, "I haven't talked to Martin for 2 years. We just looked at each other. We hugged. In that moment, we knew we were making another Bad Boys. We're definitely doing another one." For fans who are only interested in the hard facts, the key word here is definitely. Finally, my many prayers of seeing a Bad Boys 3 have been answered. Hopefully it will bring just as much success as the last two films, and also the same humor that my childhood was centered on. That's all I have for this week's Hollywood Headlines. I'm Rob White, and I will catch you guys next time.
Thank you, Rob. Now, unfortunately, we have to go to break. I've only got one question for you all. What you gonna do when the commercials come for you?
Stay tuned. We've got Dia Holsey with a Grammy wrap-up, recap, Brandon Kratkotsky with a rant, and a whole lot more.
There will be no other gods. Kill him. The body has vanished.
His tomb is empty.
The Emperor cannot arrive to unrest. We must find a body.
Combed the city for bodies dead in the last week.
Take them up.
Everyone.
God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee. None ever shall destroy my faith. For I repentant thou shalt be. Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee.
Let us leave the wood.
Dañara Davi, Nuka Henode, Iad, we go by Tanya, the Namo Unubicate. Coivano Imak, Hatsikum Haitemak, the no Nutimak, Rano, Tarfasikum Haitemak.
Tana Dauta, no attack Matani.
À, đừng mấy cái mới thôi. Chứ bà hiểu à?
Good morning, captains. I'm Nija Banod. I'm your head purser today.
Open door!
दरवाजा बंद करो।
इसकी कुंडली में लिखा था कुल का दीपक बनेगी ये।
Welcome back to the program. Last night was the Grammys. Kendrick Lamar's biggest opportunity to lose awards that he justly deserved in front of an audience that doesn't know any better.
Here to recap some of the less painful events of last night is Dia Holsey. Dia?
Last night was a big night for our celebrities. From first-time Grammy attendees to the big-time winners of the 58 Grammys were, as always, amazing. Demi Lovato made her first appearance at the Grammys last night. She showed up and showed out. The Cool for the Summer singer did a cover to the original Hello of Lionel Richie's 1984 classic, and man did she kill it. As always, Lovato's vocals never disappoint. I don't know about you, but I got chills just listening to her sing. Up-and-coming artist Kehlani also made her first appearance at the Grammys. The artist's mixtape titled You Should Be Here was nominated for Best Urban Contemporary Album along with The Weeknd, Miguel, Leanne LaHavis, and The Internet. The Weeknd came out with the win for the Best Urban Contemporary Album. Although the first time Grammy-nominated attendee did not win, she did share her gratitude on an Instagram post saying, "All albums in the world in 2015, and my mixtape made it up there. We didn't take home the trophy, but we won in my heart. Congrats, Abel, I'm such a fan." Speaking of winners, the one and only Taylor Swift won not one, but 2 Grammy Awards for the night. T. Swift won the Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album. The 1989 singer was in all of her wins. She yelled, "What just happened?" when in her dressing room with bestie, Selena Gomez. Rihanna dropped out of her Grammy performance. Sources told TMZ that Rihanna has been struggling with bronchitis, and a doctor on site recommended that she pull the plug on the performance because it could permanently damage her vocal cords. The Navy, Rhee's fan base, didn't seem too happy about that, but of course, health comes before performance. I'm Dia Holsey, and this has been your 2016 Grammy coverage.
Thank you, Dia. Glad to hear that Demi was able to camp rock the Grammy stage.
One might even say her outlook was sunny with a chance of Lionel.
However, pop culture has not been all breezy tributes to the insurmountable masculinity of Lionel Richie or Taylor Swift victories.
Many people across the country have been somewhat upset with Deadpool, the recent R-rated superhero film that has been getting flack for shocking content.
Here to rant about these reactionaries and more is Brandon Krakowski. Brandon?
Recently, there has been a conundrum surrounding the biggest hit of the year so far. While Deadpool has met critical acclaim and financial success, there's a group of parents out there petitioning for a child-appropriate version of the film. Now, I don't even know where to begin when discussing how messed up all of this is, but I'll try and find a good jumping-off point. Firstly, filmmakers, whose job it is to spread their vision to audiences, should feel free enough to do what they choose with their art. Following such unique and personal paths is how powerful art is created. And if artists feel too constrained or incapable of creating their art, we will see a massive drop in quality. Think about it. Jar Jar Binks is a product of George Lucas unnecessarily skewing his beloved franchise in a more kid-friendly direction. If Deadpool, of all characters, is forced to change the way he acts only for upset parents, then it would be unfaithful to the character and would likely hurt the overall quality of his own film. Secondly, people need to get in their heads that not every film is meant for every audience. When parents use the excuse, "Oh, well, my kids saw Deadpool in this one cartoon, and so they should be able to watch him in this movie," that doesn't make any sense to me. That's like saying, "Oh, well, Walter White was in that insurance commercial during the Super Bowl a couple years ago, so my kid should be able to watch Breaking Bad." It isn't that hard to see the fundamental flaw in this scenario. When looking at films like Deadpool or even Watchmen, it's clear that superhero movies are bigger than they once were. They have gotten so popular and commonplace that they need to be melded and changed in order to stay fresh. If writers and directors keep pooping out the same cookie-cutter films over and over and over and over again, there would be no reason to keep making movies at all. Finally, let me just say that, I understand how complicated this issue is. The rating system as a whole is so fundamentally broken. Artists and creators have been forced in the past to change their films to include just one less F-bomb in order to save themselves from the financial outcomes that a rated R film entails. But even while I wish that there was a different rating system so that both filmmakers could feel free to flex their creative muscles and there would be less confusion as to what's appropriate for different ages, that doesn't change what we have now. And with the ratings as they are, Deadpool is rated R. If it means that much to a parent out there, you can take your child to the film, but don't expect anything short of a film created for 17-year-olds and up. As for the remainder of people out there who won't be taking their children to the film, there are plenty of superhero movies out there for them to enjoy. Trust me, someday they will be able to enjoy and understand all of Deadpool's one-liners. Thankfully for now, however, Deadpool's success in its first weekend means that there should not be any changes in the appropriateness level for any future sequel. So to those begging for a change in the content, just stop. Let the film stay as is, and keep counting down the days until your film, Captain America: Civil War. That's all I have to rant about for the day. I'm Brandon Kratkowski.
Thank you, Brandon. Hopefully people will be more accepting and tolerant of R-rated properties such as this, so the screenplay I just submitted has a chance of getting made.
And what would that be?
Alvin and the Chipmunks 5, A Squeakquerk Orange.
Well, sounds like we really need to get to commercial now before this concept is expanded upon. Stay tuned for a review from Hannah Pulver, a film review from Danny Yount, and a whole lot more. Welcome back. As likely all of you know, The Walking Dead is one of the most successful shows on television, mixing zombie chills and long scenes on farms.
For those looking for less boring farm scenes, Hannah Pulver is here to review another zombie show. Hannah?
Are you sick and tired of feeling like you can't breathe while watching your favorite zombie show? You know, when you're so full of fear that it feels like a sumo wrestler is sitting on your lap? Well, if that doesn't happen to you, I still think you might need to consider a more lighthearted take on the zombie realm of this world. It's time for The Walking Dead to keep walking, and for iZombie to be sponsored by Apple products. iZombie might leave you looking forward to the zombie apocalypse, and to be honest with you, it could even tempt you to try a recipe with human brains. Just kidding, but seriously. Let me explain. The show starts with a very ambitious homegirl named Liv Moore. She's on the track of being a major doctor, has a major hot fiance named Major, and has a major tendency to avoid fun and stay focused on all aspects to success. One night, Major, her boyfriend, finally convinces Liv to go on a boat party. Major stuff goes down, and Liv wakes up in a body bag on the shore of a beach craving human brains. I know what you're thinking. Basic! But wait, there's more. Liv still looks like a human, a very pale and lifeless human, but she is still able to live. She can no longer become a doctor, of course, so she leaves her whole life behind and gets a job at the morgue of the police department, so she can secretly access brains without killing people. While eating these brains of fallen victims from murders and other crimes throughout the city, Liv realizes that she can get visions from the life of the person she ate. So obviously, she becomes friends with a detective and tells him she's a psychic willing to help him solve random cases. Not only does each show have a different crime to be solved, but over all the episodes, there's a huge issue brewing with a company that may or may not be turning the nation into brain feeders. Another pattern in each show is a bomb cooking segment. Liv has to spice up the taste of brains somehow, and the show creates a whole Food Network type feel to the whole thing, and the final product always looks oddly mouthwatering. If you were able to follow along with all that, then you know that this is definitely the coolest of the cool in the zombie world. Season 1 of iZombie is now on Netflix, while Season 2 is working its way up to the finale on current TV. It takes a lot of dedication to be a zombie, and the actors do a great job. I highly recommend iZombie for anyone who's looking up to spice up their show list. Until next time, I'm Hannah Pulver.
Thanks, Hannah. Sounds like it takes a lot of dedication to play a zombie so well on a show like that.
Hey, Aiden, are you even trying anymore?
What do you mean?
That pun was literally one of the last things she said in her segment.
Fourth wall break?
Well, you're lucky that a Deadpool review is up next. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gotten away with that.
Indeed I am. Anywho, here to review the latest entry into the safe, tame, and acceptable to all audience canon of superhero films, Deadpool, is Danny Yount. Danny?
Wow. That segment. I'm dead. Beautiful. Oh, hello everyone. As I sit here against my will giving this review over this movie I saw, I just want you to all know that there will be a lot of sentences that I've written personally, but the segues, something text on the screen that I see. Well, I must give credit to the head writer, Brandon. Also, I must point out how the great producer's hair looked today. Vivian Nicole, keep it classy. You know, now that we're on the topic of hair, I'm just so curious as to what products work best. You know, I was looking around when I tried to, I have a review to get to. Deadpool. As poorly as my attempt was to emulate a Deadpool fashioned introduction, as I watched this film, I was immediately intrigued. I'm a huge Deadpool fan, and I speak for many when I say that the characterization of him in the X-Men had me so sad. We wanted to see Deadpool, the bat, insert explicative, crazy, awesome, and invincible anti-hero who's probably the coolest out there that there is. In terms of the film, despite it feeling a touch fast-paced, even though it was almost 2 hours long, I really did like it, and the critics did too. The reason I say it felt fast-paced was because, without giving too much away, we get kind of, pushed down a hill from the time Wade Wilson gets mutated into his superhero self to the time he's a fully developed anti-hero with full control of his abilities. We don't really see that transformation. Does it matter? Not really. But I think that's the reason why this movie felt a bit quick. Although it zoomed by, there was an aesthetic to this anti-hero movie that really has never been put into a movie before. There are slaps in the face to Fox, Marvel, X-Men, and even Hollywood that had the whole audience in joyous laughter. This is the Deadpool every fan was waiting for, and we got exactly what we wanted. As for a tie into the new Reborn X-Men franchise, we might be seeing that in the near future. Ryan Reynolds has been trying to get this on screen for over a decade now, and you can tell in his performance. He nails a convincing Deadpool, and his costume is just great. The CGI action is very apparent, but I think in this film it's perfect because we really feel like we're watching a live action comic book. And as for dialogue, well, I'll just say the vocabulary is very creative and very vulgar. I firmly believe that this movie would have not been what it was without him swearing at least once in every scene. So public service announcement for all of you moms and dads out there with 12-year-olds begging you to get them a ticket to see this movie. It's rated R. There's nudity, there's sex, there's a lot of vulgarity, and a lot of awesomeness. If you're into showing your kid that kind of stuff, well, just tell them it'll be worth it to wait 5 years. That's all for now, and a high five to the guy in the studio who's about to push a big button on a big electronic board and switch the two anchors who are sitting in the middle of this desk right next to me after the commercial. And little do you know, I will be right next to them listening to every word they say. So until next time, I'm so proud to be your host of this review. Have a great day.
Thank you, Danny, even though after the end of your segment, I'm not even sure of my own status on this show.
We need a break to recuperate, which we fortunately get now. Stay tuned for our final word.
You're a lovely lady, but I'm saving myself for Francis. That's why I brought him.
I prefer not to hit a woman, so please play.
I mean, that's why I brought her? Oh no, finish your tweet.
Everyone, Lee's back! They're both back!
He found his son!
He made it!
They're back!
Lee? He found his son! Everyone's back! Lee's back! Hang on a sec.
We're talking about 1 million guys.
But half of them are married. 10% are gay. I want someone college educated, not too ugly, so...
There's your boyfriend.
I wish. He's gotta be taller than me, and he's gotta want kids. So yeah, I'm on 10 different dating websites to increase my odds.
Prison changed me! I am bad to the core now! Where's my damn latte?
For my final word, I wanted to talk about Gravity Falls. Since 2012, the adventures of Dipper and Mabel Pines in the sleepy mystery town of Gravity Falls have not only wooed the hearts of kids, but of the college-age folk like myself as well. And yet, as of the taping of this episode, sadly, Gravity Falls is now over after 2 seasons. It's been an amazing ride, and it's really amazing that in this day of animation, it's possible to carry messages that transcend age. To have shows such as Steven Universe and Adventure Time that carry themes way over the head of their target audiences, and to give us a mystery we can solve together. This was one of the shows that had some of that old Disney magic, the old razzmatazz that kept you laughing and thrilled through each short episode. And to see the magic fade away is a truly heartbreaking thing. But I'm glad it went out on the creators' terms and wasn't run through the mud as Disney is wont to do. So if you haven't already, check out Gravity Falls, and you'll thank me later.
When bringing up shows that ended far before their time, it's seemingly impossible not to mention Firefly. Not to be confused with The Insect of the Night, Firefly is a superb space western, and no matter how many shows or films try to recapture its unique spirit, none come even close. The series was written and directed by Joss Whedon of modern Avengers fame, and starred Nathan Fillion as Captain Malcolm Reynolds. The big difference between Firefly and Fillion's current show Castle is that Castle, for some reason, is ending far after its time. Nonetheless, Fillion managed to come off so loyal, cunning, yet so roguelike at the same time. His wonderfully realized character is only one of the many things worthy of missing from this stunning series. After only one season, the show was canceled, but that didn't stop it from becoming a cult classic, with many, much like myself, clamoring for more. Sure, the writers did well by featuring a sequel film titled Serenity to better wrap up the tale, but that doesn't change the fact that Firefly deserves more. Every day, it pains me to know that a show with such promise ended so soon, though I like to think that there is always hope of a reunion aboard the Serenity someday.
And that wraps up our show for this week. Be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages for news and updates on all things entertainment. I'm Aiden Hall.
And I'm Angelo Oriema. We'll see you next time.